AI just learned to see, hear, and create all at once. And honestly, that changes everything. For years, artificial intelligence was basically stuck being a one-trick pony. You could ask ChatGPT to write an essay, or you could use DALL-E to generate an image, but they were separate tools doing separate things. Your brain doesn't work that way, though. You watch a video, you hear the audio, you read the captions, you understand the context, all at the same time, all connected. That's multimodal intelligence. And now AI is starting to work like that too. And that's what we're diving into today. So let's start with what multimodal actually means, because the word sounds fancier than it really is. Modality is just a fancy way of saying a type of input or output. Text is one modality. Images are another. Video is another. Audio is another. For most of AI's history, especially the early days of generative AI, these modalities were completely siloed. Your language model understood words. Your image model understood pixels. They didn't talk to each other. They didn't understand how words relate to images relate to sounds. It was like having a friend who could write brilliant essays but couldn't look at a picture, and another friend who could describe a painting but couldn't read. Neither one got the full story. But here's what changed. Researchers realized that if you train AI models on data that contains multiple types of information at the same time, text and images together, video and audio together, all mixed in one training dataset, the model starts to understand how they connect. It learns that the word dog relates to the sound of barking relates to the visual pattern of fur and four legs. Suddenly, you don't need 5 different AI tools. You need one that understands the whole picture. And that's exactly what we're seeing happen right now. OpenAI's GPT-4 with Vision can look at an image and describe it. Google's Gemini can watch a video and answer questions about what's happening in it. And just recently, we've got tools like Runway and Pika that can generate actual video from text descriptions. Not just one frame. Entire videos with motion, lighting, and continuity. Let me break down why this matters so much more than it sounds. Up until now, if you wanted to create video content, you had to either film it yourself or hire someone. If you wanted AI-generated images to tell a story, you'd have to generate 10 images one at a time and manually sequence them. You were stitching together single-modality outputs. But now, you can describe a scene in text, like, imagine a woman walking through a rainy Tokyo street at night, neon signs reflecting in puddles. She's carrying a briefcase and she looks stressed, and an AI can generate that entire sequence as a video. With consistent characters, with proper lighting, with motion that makes sense. That's the explosion happening right now. And it's not just video generation. It's audio too. Models like Google's Music LM can generate music from text descriptions. 11 Labs can create voices that sound genuinely human. But more importantly, these are all starting to work together. You can imagine a future where you describe a scene, and one model generates the video, another generates the soundtrack, another generates voiceover narration, and they all sync up perfectly because they're all understanding the same underlying context. Now, the reason this is technically possible is actually kind of interesting. It comes down to something called embeddings. Think of embeddings like a universal translation layer for AI. When you train a model on mixed data, images and text together, or video and audio together, the model learns to represent both types of information in the same mathematical space. So a picture of a dog and the word dog and the sound of barking all end up pointing to the same region in that space. They're literally neighbors in the AI's mind. That's what lets multimodal models work. They're not separately understanding text and then separately understanding images. They're understanding a shared concept that can be expressed in multiple ways. And here's where it gets wild. Because once you have that shared understanding, you can do things that weren't possible before. You can take a video and edit it by describing changes in text. You can watch a tutorial video and have an AI create a step-by-step written guide. You can feed in a photograph and have an AI describe not just what it sees, but the emotional tone, the story implied by the composition, the technical camera settings that might have created it. The AI understands the connection between all these layers. So what's actually driving this explosion right now? A few things. First, we've got more data. The internet is full of videos with captions, images with descriptions, articles with illustrations. That paired data is what trains multimodal models. Second, we've got better architectures. Models like transformers and vision transformers can handle multiple types of data more efficiently than older approaches. Third, and this is huge, we've got more compute. Training these models requires serious processing power, and companies like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and Meta have that power. It's not a technology problem anymore. It's an engineering and resource problem. And when you throw resources at engineering problems, things move fast. But here's what I think is the really important bit to understand. Multimodal AI isn't just about convenience. It's about how AI is starting to understand the world more like humans do. Humans don't learn by studying text in isolation. We learn by seeing things, hearing things, reading about them, experiencing them in context. Our brains are multimodal by default. For AI to get closer to human-level understanding, it needs to be multimodal too. And we're seeing that happen in real time. Now, I want to be real about the limitations because there are some. Video generation right now is still pretty limited. You can generate short clips, but they're not always perfectly coherent. Motion can look a little weird. The longer the video, the more things can go wrong. And these models are resource-intensive. They're not running on your laptop. They're running on massive server farms. So there's a gap between what's technically possible and what's practically accessible. Also, there's the whole ethics question. When AI can generate realistic video, deepfakes become easier. When AI can understand video and audio together, surveillance becomes more powerful. These are real concerns that we need to be thinking about as this technology develops. I'm not saying don't build it. I'm saying we need guardrails while we're building it. But stepping back, the multimodal explosion is one of the biggest shifts in AI right now. We're moving from specialized single-task models to general-purpose models that understand the world through multiple lenses at once. And that shift is going to unlock capabilities we haven't even thought of yet. Someone's going to use multimodal AI in a way that surprises everyone. That's how technology works. So if you want to stay on top of this stuff as it evolves, hit that subscribe button. We break down the latest AI developments in ways that actually make sense, no PhD required. And drop a comment if you're curious about what you'd build with multimodal AI if you had access to it. I read those, and I genuinely love hearing what you all are thinking about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.